I sure
Oh,
do.
heck yeah. All right, so we're gonna play a Kahoot game after this, so I'm really excited about that. All right, so I'm gonna hand it off to Perla.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have a guest speaker, like Roberto told you. It's gonna be Rodriguez. She is a Latino Club member alumni, and she attends Whitworth University in Spokane. So, Fatima.
There you go. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Hi, guys. My name is Fatima Rodriquez, and I am a student here at Whitworth University. I'm very thankful that you guys are having me here. And as Perla and Roberto mentioned, I was part of the Latino Club when I was at Wakai. So feel free to use me as a resource to get a very truthful interview about what being a college student is like during pandemic. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I think Regina, I know I asked you a whole bunch of questions on the Tuesday meeting, and I don't want to ask those again because they're super repetitive. I believe Regina came up with a few more. So Regina, if you want to share those with her.
Yeah, I did want to ask one that Roberto asked the other day, just so like everyone could hear this, because I feel like it's kind of important if you want to hear about it. But like, just tell us what some like struggles or like some good things coming out of just being in like, you know, online and virtual, like good things too, bad things, just how it's going. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the question, Regina. I think some of the struggles, like I mentioned last time, has to do a lot with time management, because, you know, you are having classes and you are having assignments just delivered to your computer. You don't really have to go out to a classroom, or, you know, even expected to watch the lecture. So it definitely, you have to keep yourself accountable and you have to keep yourself on top of everything. That's a very big responsibility and a very big challenge for me. So I would say that's a great challenge that I've been facing, time management. Something that I've gotten out of it is being able to become more responsible and become more accountable for what I have to do. Being a college student is just deals a lot with self-advocacy and a lot of you know, self-motivation. So that's something that I've gotten out of this experience.
That is a great response, Fatima. Sorry, I couldn't turn on the mic for some reason. That's a great response, Fatima. I know we asked this, but I feel like along with Regina, I feel like it would be really good for everybody to hear. Regina, do you have any more questions for Fatima? Just kidding, there's one in the chat. Oh, I did put in the chat, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them or turn on your mic. But I believe Melito just put a question. So Fatima, if you want to go ahead and answer that.
Yeah, I really miss Melito. I would go to his office almost every single day before my bus arrived. So I definitely miss that. I miss chatting with you guys. Definitely miss going to Latino Club and forming part of you know, like the Christmas parade and everything like that. That's something that I don't have here. And I definitely miss the community, my teachers, my friends. And honestly, you do miss Whitworth as a school. Even though, you know, when you're a high school student, you kind of want to, you know, get out of high school as soon as you can, but you will miss it. Yes, I am on campus right now. I live here in Oliver Hall. It's the newest building, and I live here. I have one roommate. So yes, I'm here in Spokane. Good question. With food. So in our cafeteria, we have, I think it's called plexiglass, that is kind of built into our tables. And we have a maximum seating capacity of 4 people per table. So that means that the biggest, crew you can get to sit with at the cafeteria is only 4 people. And we have clear plexiglass, so you can speak to people and you can look at them clearly, but there's that barrier. It's not that hard. I've gotten used to it. And it's clear. You can't even tell. Yes, I do have to pay for housing. Housing here is about $11,000 a year, but with scholarships and that can help. You do also are required to live here the first 2 years. So as a sophomore, this would be my last required year to live here on campus. Yeah, we are also, if we live here on campus, we are also required to purchase a meal plan, which is something that I really don't appreciate because their food, it's like eating at your favorite restaurant for 4 years, or just at a regular restaurant, not even your favorite restaurant. But yeah, we do have food here on campus. And where do we eat? We eat at our cafeteria at the Hickson Union building. And like I mentioned, there's plexiglass there, and there's takeout options to go. Next question from Alexia. Do you think virtual? I think virtual can be harder, but it's, it has its pros and cons. I really like being able to view lectures from, my home or my dorm. I really like that. Sometimes it's really cold and I don't want to go outside. So there's definitely a lot of pros and cons for both. Virtual learning has been harder for me because you just have to be really good with, setting set time, making your own schedule to watch the lectures, to study, to turn in the assignments. So yeah. Are you given permission to go off campus, or are you on your own to decide? We can go off campus. Right now, Whitworth really wants to keep us in Spokane County. An example was during Thanksgiving break, we were given 2 options. We could stay in Spokane County and finish our fall semester here, living on campus like I'm doing, or we had the ability to leave Spokane County but not come back until the new semester started. So that was really sad. I really wanted to go home for Thanksgiving and I wasn't able to because I have a job here and I have sports that I participate in. So if I left back home, I wouldn't have the ability to participate in that. But we can go to the stores and everything like that. Do you wear any Wahe gear anymore? Yes, I do. I have my cheerleading jacket that I wear very often with my name on it, and it says Walla Walla High School Cheerleading. So I wear that. But I also, most of my gear now says Whitworth. Yes, teachers are on campus. I have in-person chemistry, and we go to our class every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Our Spanish class, my advanced Spanish and grammar, was also offered in person. And personal health, my personal health class was also offered in person. So there are teachers here offering classes. Sometimes you'll even catch them in their office hours and things like that. Do you still have sports? Here at Whitworth, we have, I don't even know how many sports we have. I think we have 21 sports. We do have sports, and currently I'm continuing to do cheer. Magali wants to know why you picked Whitworth. Honestly, I visited so many college campuses, even with Melito. I went to Puget Sound with Melito. I went to UW. I went to Eastern with Melito too. I went to so many places, and Whitworth. I liked Whitworth because it was smaller. It didn't, seem like I could just get lost, like, UW, even though their campus is beautiful. It was just smaller. The vibe was more just familiar. I remember entering here, Whitworth, and I remember a Katy Perry song just blasting in the cafeteria, and I was like, yeah, I want to come here. So what sports are you? Right now, I am doing cheerleading here at Whitworth University, and I was doing cheerleading when I was at Wahai, and I did that, but I didn't do it my senior year. But I'm continuing to do cheer here. So right now, my major is health science. I'm double majoring in health science and Spanish. And I want to become an occupational therapist. And to do that, I have to complete my bachelor's here at Whitworth University in health science. And then I have to continue approximately 2 years at grad school. And then I will become an occupational therapist. That's what I have. That's what I'm more set on. However, I am open to, changing a possible career. I do want to keep it within the health science range, but it's possible I could change that. Okay, I went through all of the questions in the chat. I don't know if anybody has any more.
Well, I had one before I write. So Whitworth's a Presbyterian school. What kind of impact does that have on attending school? Do you have to take religion classes, or what else? Go to church, that type of thing?
That's a great question, and it's something that I get, asked a lot when, so yes, we do, because this is a, religious school, we do have to take one biblical course. It's required. And we also have to take core 150, core 250, and core 350, which talks about, so core 150, we learn, we just discuss about what we know. Core 250 is how we know it's true. And then core 350 is what should we do about it. So we are required to take those 3 core classes, 1 biblical class, and we are not required to go to chapel. However, chapel is offered Tuesdays and Thursdays, and no classes are going on at that time. So, if you really wanted to go to chapel, you definitely have the ability to do so. We also have like Hosanna, which is like a more contemporary worship service led by students, and Awake, which is also, a contemporary worship service led by students. I'm part of the Catholic Fellowship Club, so I take part of that. But it's really nice. I don't think that you are required to do any, like to attend any religious activities that you don't want to. However, you have the open opportunity to do so. Melito, I need to see that one time.
Hey, Fatima, I have a quick question. So I actually have 2 questions. So earlier you said that at Whitworth, you're required to stay on on-campus housing for the first 2 years you're in school. So yes. Was that still required even with coronavirus? Like, did you guys have the option to leave, or how did that work?
Because of COVID, there was more kind of like more like space for you to do that. I know some sophomores are living off campus, and there's a process that you have to go to waiver, living off campus. So there is a process that you have to do. But yeah, most of the sophomores are living on campus, but because of COVID, there's definitely more opportunity to do so. I just decided to live on campus because I didn't want to get into leasing and signing contracts right now, or just being accountable for an apartment and things like that.
That's a good point. That's interesting. And then my second question, which I also did ask on Thursday or Tuesday, but I feel like would be a good thing to share with the members. So I know some of the members are sophomores, and I know it's really early for you guys. You guys think it's really early to start looking into colleges, but the time goes by super fast. So like, what advice do you have, Fatima, for people who are like right now, especially right now with all the virtual stuff going on and the COVID stuff? What advice would you give them to like start looking into colleges, or just advice you would give them?
Good question. I think something that I really wish I would have heard when I was a sophomore is, start thinking about what you want to do, and start thinking about, do I want to go to a big school? Do I want to go to a small school? Do I want a liberal arts school? I come to a liberal arts school, and sometimes it can be, I can just feel very overwhelmed because I have to take a math class and an art class because it's required to do so, even though I am a health science major. So think about what you want your environment to be. Think about what possible careers you are thinking, and that's going to definitely help narrow down the application process when you are a senior, because when I was a senior, I applied to so many different schools, and I really did not have in mind what I wanted. And I just spent so much time filling out applications for colleges that honestly, deep down, I really did not see myself going to. So, have the feeling of the kind of environment you want. And that's definitely going to help you narrow down your choices and facilitate the application process. Eric says, I might join cheer. You should. It's really fun. Yes. Like I mentioned before, I am part of the Whitworth Fellowship Club. We meet every Tuesday nights, and we talk to Father David, and it's just such a safe space to talk about a lot of issues and how we view them as Catholics and what we can do about it. We talk a lot about, it's a very, I don't want to say it's an easy club, but I don't want to say it's definitely, it like involves a lot of critical thinking. We talk a lot about contemporary issues that are going on and how, we view them and just things like that. I'm also part of Ola Club, which is kind of like a Latino club. And we have virtual meetings only. So I take part of that. We have some events throughout the year, such as dancing folklorico, which I participated in last year. We also sell elotes, but we won't be able to do that this year. And the women's group. I'm also part of women's group. I don't want to say I live on a budget because I don't really have, I guess you could say I do. I just don't have a very steady income because I work like 4 hours a week. So I try to not spend as much money because I know that I'm going to be using that for my tuition. I have work study. So that's part of my work study kind of like payment method. So, if I'm getting, my paychecks and buying, candy or shoes or things like that, that's not a very responsible way for me to use my work study money. What do I do with my free money? Honestly, I just save it up. I try to go out a couple times a month and things like that, but it's not something that I prioritize as a college student. But money for fun things, eating, going out, going ice skating and things like that are some of the things that I do when I go out. Actually, our university did not give us really cool masks. I have 2 of them that I want to show you. They're right here. They have the Whitworth logo, and it's kind of bias, I guess, but the athletes have these. So when you see someone wearing this mask that it says Pirates and the Whitworth, you know they are an athlete. And not all of the students got one, but you can purchase them. We just got them from the athletics department. And this is the black one that says Whitworth. It might be inverted with the Whitworth logo. So these are two of the masks that I have. Very awesome question. Yeah, does anybody have any last questions for me?
Okay, while people are typing it in the chat, I guess we can like end it with like a big bang, I guess you could say. So again, I did ask this question on Tuesday, but I just feel like this is like a perfect spot to say it. So I know like it's very easy to see like everything that's going on wrong, because obviously like it's really hard to see things positively. So what things, I remember you talking about you were able to work on prioritizing or working on time management. Do you feel like there are some good things that came out of it? And I feel like you kind of answered this in the beginning, but just some good things that you were able to work on, or just some things you were able to improve because of virtual learning?
Yeah, so I would totally go back to the time management, prioritizing. Even though it's really hard, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about, you know, your kind of like what you are prioritizing, and if it's, you know, if you should, you know, shift anything around. I know that when I got here, my priority was just to have fun, to go out. And I had to rearrange that. That's something that has been a benefit. So yeah, just time management, prioritizing. I have a couple more questions in the chat. I'm not really sure. I'm obviously in Walla Walla during the summer, but I don't know if I will work as an occupational therapist there. I'm not done with Walla Walla, but you know, I want something a little bit like bigger. Yeah, I don't really know where you can do that, but I'll ask Melito and see if I can see who like distributes them. I'll send you a message or something. Okay, I don't think I have any more questions, but thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, feel free if you guys have any more questions. Melito has my contact information. I'm a first generation student, and I've been learning a lot from being here alone on campus. So if you feel like you want to have another Zoom meeting, individual, not even about Whitworth, just about college itself, how to pay for it, what you can do, please feel free to contact Melito. He has my contact information, and I would be more than happy to meet with you guys.
All right, I think you have a couple of questions. If you just want to answer those really quickly, those can be the last ones, and then you can go on.
Yeah, let me just read them super quick. I will just, very good question, Eric. I'm just gonna, you know, just vocally share that with you. I do use a planner. That's something that I use when I'm managing my time. If you have a really hard time managing, you know, and doing your schoolwork, something that I do that my friend showed me is, you know, sometimes you want to do work and you're thinking about other things. Well, something that I do when I have to get some assignments done, have to get some studying, and I just can't focus, is I write down all my thoughts in a paper, and I will, you know, just set that aside and start doing, I make an outline of the things I need to get done. And something that I did my freshman year that was a little bit more structured is writing an assignment and writing an approximate time it might take me to finish it. So that might be something that you want to do. No problem, Eric. Yeah, I do use a planner. I am a very forgetful person. If I don't write them down, I will definitely forget it.
All right. Yeah, I totally. Oh, sorry, Fatima. I totally agree. Planners are amazing. I think that was your last question. If you want, you can leave your email, like whatever email you would prefer people you contact. just leave it in the chat. And if anybody has any questions for her, you guys can go ahead and send her emails. Fatima, I want to say thank you on behalf of all of us for taking time out of your day to come and talk to us. We really appreciate it. And yeah, so if nobody has any more questions, thank you so much, Fatima. I hope you have a good weekend. It's almost the weekend, so.
Thank you so much for having me here. I will submit or, share my email with you guys, and you guys can shoot me a really quick email if you guys have any questions. I'm glad to help. Thank you guys so much for having me here. I will be leaving the meeting shortly, but before that, I'm going to share my email in the chat with you guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fatima. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, so I think we can go back to our agenda. Fatima did a great job at giving us her thoughts and talking about her virtual experience, but we can go back to the presentation. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, actually. So yeah, and it is 3:30, so we don't want to keep you guys for too long. So, this is actually Mr. Erickson's slide. So Mr. Erickson, if you want to go ahead and take over.
Yeah, you need to unshare. Let me share. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, Christmas time's coming up, and one of the things is we haven't done this in a while, but about 10 years we used to have a Posadas event for a Latino club. We get together and light candles and sing the songs. And one year, actually, somebody brought a donkey, and we kind of walked around the neighborhood around the Presbyterian church there in College Place. So something to think about down the road. But this is kind of an interesting quick video about what Posadas is all about. Hope I'm saying that right. Oop.
Not hearing his audio.
Oops.
Mr. Erickson, we can't hear the video.
Mr. Erickson, we can't hear the video.
Bill, we can't hear you either. You're muted.
It looked like a really cool video, you guys. It looked good.
It is really interesting. I actually learned a couple of things from it. So I hope we can share it on, but we might have to skip the video for today. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's already 3:40, and I don't want to keep you all for too long. But yeah, I think if Mr. Erickson gets that figured out, we can go ahead and show it. But if not, we will send it out on the Remind. And I hope you guys all watch it, because it's actually, like, I'm not saying it just because we're showing it, but I genuinely think it's really interesting and very informative. I learned a lot. So yeah, if you guys don't do Posadas, if you guys are part of Posadas, I think it's very informative. And if you guys want to go all ahead and go watch it. But I think we'll skip that for now. Sorry, Mr. Erickson. If you get it figured out, just go ahead and start sharing. But for time's sake, I think we'll just move on to the next thing on our agenda, which, just kidding. I think you got it figured out.
House asking for shelter until eventually someone died. What you doing there? I know there are many people out there watching with many faiths and denominations. I just want you to know this is not an attempt to sway you in any way. My attempt is simply to expose you to my cultural identity and where I come from. Anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about posadas. What are posadas? Well, as you know, Mexico is a Catholic country according to the CIA fact book, 82.5% or something like that. Close enough. Anyway, Catholics in Mexico have this thing where they recreate the story of Joseph and Mary trying to find shelter. That's what the word posada means, to give shelter. I remember going to all these posadas as a kid. Oh, it was awesome. Like, we would go knock on a door and we would sing a song, and then the other side would sing a song, then we responded, and it went back and forth a few times. The chanting back and forth is supposed to symbolize Joseph and Mary seeking shelter for the night, and no one would let them in. Anyway, so you go from house to house asking for shelter until eventually someone does, and you end the night with a big old party. I think in most cities the concept of the posada is kind of a foreign thing, but I live in a primarily Mexican American community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley, so we can do this kind of stuff here where we can go from house to house, hundreds of people walking down the street going from door to door. It's sure to cause a scene, right? Yeah, there was a scene, a positive scene, where people are stopping to see what's up. What was amazing was no one was honking, no one was being rude. So this is done night after night after night for 9 straight nights. Now, as a kid, I remember loving going to these things because we didn't have PlayStation or we didn't have any handheld devices. When I was a kid, we used to break piñatas and they were made out of clay. Eat, break a piñata, get lead poisoning. And I just remember getting to eat pan dulce and eating tamales and pozole and oh my god, the buñuelos. You may know about churros, but do you know about buñuelos? There were people of all ages there, all members of the community that my parents live in. There were kids that were just not really interested in it. They were playing with their video games. I think that's kind of unfortunate because we're missing out on something awesome. Community, friendship, and seeing people gathered happily, laughing and singing and eating together. My brother invited one of his friends and his wife to come see this event, and I had to take the opportunity to ask them what they thought.
At first, I was a little nervous because I don't speak Spanish, but everybody is so nice and everybody would like fill you in and tell you what was going on and made you feel like a family. I thought that was awesome. I mean, there was cars stopping to see what we were doing.
At first, I thought it was something similar to caroling, but as my new friend kind of explained to me. Do you think that it's similar to it in that regard or no?
I would personally say no. To me, I mean, yeah, they sang, but it was more of a religious, spiritual aspect for me of maybe what it would have been like in that time as a person walking and even being married and experiencing that for ourselves, of people telling us, no, you can't be here, and maybe, you know, being scared and all that kind of stuff.
So there it is. That's what posadas are all about. Family, friendship, community, faith. And if you're Mexican, great food. Champurrado, pan dulce, buñuelos, ponche, tamales. I think that's what posadas are ultimately about. The stuff that you can't get from a Call of Duty game. It's cultural identity, the real stuff. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, make sure that you subscribe and you like this video and share it with your friends. Who knows, they might learn something.
Awesome. I'm really glad we were able to show that because I think it's really interesting. I don't know about you guys. I actually learned a couple of things. But thank you so much for finding that video, Mr. Erickson. It was like a really good descriptive video. So yeah, if you guys do take place in posadas, it's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's really interesting. All right, so we did want to share that because I think that time is starting to come around. It's pretty close. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I think next on our agenda is Mr. Sayers' game. So Mr. Sayers, do you want to? I was just thinking about that. Do you want to save the game for next week? I'm not sure.
You can. I'm afraid we're pressing time. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, we do have the Kahoot game at the end. So. Yeah. So if you guys do want to stay for the game, you can wait till the end. Sorry, Mr. Sayers, I know you probably worked hard to look for that game, but we will definitely be playing it next week.
It's an epic game. We'll save for next time.
Dang, I was really excited about it, but it's okay. All right. So next thing on our agenda is the funds/budget. So this Monday we had a meeting with Marilyn Melgoza, and if you guys don't know who she is the ASB advisor. And the meeting was basically just about our budget and what we have and like how much money we have. Basically, we just want to say that we have some ideas. We want to buy a couple of things. So we just want to let you guys know that if we do go back to in-person learning soon, which I really, really hope we do. We're not going to go with nothing in hand. We're planning on starting with a couple of things that are going to make Latino Club, like help us get more out there and just help us advertise more. So this is just to let you guys know that we are planning on going back with a couple of things that are going to help us out a lot. If you guys do have any ideas for, obviously you guys might not know what we need because we haven't been doing much. Like normally we'll decorate the float parades, or we'll decorate for parties or things like that. But since we aren't able to do that this year, we don't know what we need. But if you guys do have ideas for supplies that you think we might need, go ahead and let us know in the chat, or you can email any of us. But yeah, just the main goal of this slide was just to let you guys know that we do have some things in mind that we want to buy, and we're not going back to school empty-handed. There you go. All right, so we can move on to the next slide. And I think this was Regina's slide, but she had to go because of some Wi-Fi issues. I think everybody's having some Wi-Fi issues with Chromebooks, but I believe who else went to the Equity and Access meeting on Thursday that would like to share just a little bit about what they talked about?
I mean, I can, but Alexia and I were also there. So I can't really get much information either because during the meeting, my Wi-Fi decided to cut off, so half of the time I couldn't really hear anything. But we did discuss about Latino Club, and we gave some information on what we were up to in Latino Club and what we were planning to do for next semester, next quarter. And yeah, but I guess Mr. Erickson can give you a little bit more information because maybe
I was there the whole time. So
yeah.
The number one thing I got out of it is a lot of you are having problems with your technology. It's locking up and that, and they actually, if you're doing that, you need to get in and get your stuff upgraded. They're even offering a direct cable internet for those who are really having trouble with their hotspots and that type of thing. So I really encourage you to, if you're really having trouble, your Chromebook's not working right, or you're not linking in with your internet, you need to go in and get that upgraded. So they're really working on that. Overall, I guess the number one thing is that we as a club, your leaders, when they come on, go to these meetings and they talk, I mean, it's very impressive to the community and to the staff. There's not only staff, school staff members, but there's also community members on there. And it's really, everybody's making a good impression in the last couple of meetings. I mean, it's, that's why we get that money from ASB and some of those things, because we've proven ourselves as being a substantial club. Even though we're just a few of us on here, I mean, once things open up, we know that once we have some person-to-person activities, our club's going to grow back again. So that's something to keep in mind. But number one thing, if you're really having trouble with your technology, you need to either check with Melito or wherever you go to get your technology upgraded. You need to do that, because if you want hard cable Wi-Fi into your house with like 86 megabyte type stuff, they're actually providing that for free. So just that's probably covers everything there. Probably a few more things, but it's something to keep in mind.
All right, thank you, Mr. Erickson. Yeah, I remember Perla telling me that they were all cutting off a lot, and it was a struggle to try to hear what everybody was saying. So thank you for sharing that. We can go on to the next slide, which is about the Latino Club reunion. So Alexia, if you want to take that over.
Okay, so the Latino Club reunion is going to be on December 17th. A Thursday. It's going to be at 3. It's a normal meeting just with former Latino Club members. So it's a pre-Christmas meeting to celebrate our current and former
Looks like we're
so
having some
Alexia-
audio issues.
Yeah. So Alexia, you need to go in and get some new stuff for Alex.
And we will just
Uh-oh, yeah, looks like we're having some audio issues.
So Roberto and Alexia need to go in and get their stuff upgraded.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, sorry, Alexa, there's some like audio issues going on, but I can just explain it really quickly. She was explaining it and it's all on the slide, but basically we're just inviting former Latino Club members to join us for our annual reunion. We just want like to catch up with them, especially now, see how they're doing virtually with this very different experience that's very hard on everybody. It's gonna be like a regular meeting, except they're gonna be with us and they're gonna share out. They're gonna share with us. They're gonna play the games with us. They're gonna do the drawings with us. So it's gonna be like a regular meeting, but just with them. So if you guys want, you guys can come up with questions that can be about them specifically, like how they're doing in school, or how Latino Club helped them, or what they did in Latino Club that they missed that they wish they could still do. If you guys want to just come up with those questions, you can go ahead and do that. And like Perla said in the chat, if you know anybody who used to be in Latino Club, it doesn't matter how long ago it was, let them know that we're having this reunion, and it's the same link as every meeting. So if you know somebody who was in Latino Club at Wahai and you're like, oh, I feel like this person would like to come to the reunion, go ahead and send them that link or show them our remind, and they can get all of the links that they need. So yeah, and then right there it says, if you have any questions, you can contact Mr. Erickson, and his email is right there. And then on Instagram, I believe we will be posting the flyer for that. So all of the information will be on there. But yeah, we just wanted to let you know, if you guys see any like if any strangers at the next meeting, then that's probably gonna be them. All right, we can go ahead and move on to the next slide. All right, the Women Narrative, the Narrator Project. We have been talking about this for the past couple of weeks, so I'm not going to say everything on the slide, but basically what it is, it's a group of volunteers, or it's a group of people who volunteer to record audio versions for books used in Spanish classes. It's a very flexible opportunity, and you can do it whenever it fits into your schedule. So it's not like it's not a fixed time, and it's not a fixed day. It's like, if you can do it, go ahead and do it. If you can't do it, then it's okay. Just do it whenever you can. Excuse me. This will count for volunteer hours, and trust me when I say that these are probably the easiest hours you could ever like get. But on top of that, like, it's just a really good experience, and it's just really good to be able to say that you recorded like audiobooks for classes. Like, that'd be so cool. I think that's cool. But yeah, it will count for volunteer hours. So if you are interested, if you're struggling with those hours, especially this year, go ahead and sign up for this. I'm actually going to put the chat the link to the Google Forms in the chat. But if you, while I post that, you guys can, you guys can go ahead to the next slide, and I'll put the link in the chat. But if you're interested, please go ahead and sign up. We're not starting until like late December / early January. So you still have time to sign up for that. All right, sorry. I think this was Evelyn's slide, but oh, just kidding. This is Alexa's slide.
So the Walla Walla Public Schools is providing free meals during winter break for the ages 1 to 18. The deadline for the meals is Friday, December 11th, and each child will receive a meal box that comes with 10 breakfasts and 10 lunches, and I think it said like orange juice and milk. And to sign up, you can sign up with the link below. I'm also going to put it in the chat. And then you can pick up your meals Saturday, December 19th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the address is 174 Antley Street in Walla Walla.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Alexa. Sorry, I accidentally posted the free food the free food link instead of the, oh my gosh, it's so dark in here, sorry. I accidentally put the free food link in the chat instead of the narrator project, so I'll go ahead and do that. But really quickly, we're gonna announce this again, Coach for Kids and food. If you guys know anyone in need, or if you guys are in need yourselves, please contact Melito, or on the next slide, we have our contact information, but we can go ahead and hold off on that. Contact us if you guys know anybody who's in need of food or coats. If you're in need of coats, let us know your size, your name, your age, and your favorite color. And then food, just go ahead and email any of us and say that you're in need of food. But yeah, we just really want to stress this because it's a very difficult time right now, and I know we're announcing this every week, but it's for a good cause. And then the next slide is just, if you want to go to the next slide, this is all our emails. So if you want to contact any of us, you can go ahead and do that. Make sure that when you do contact us and it has something to do with Latino Club, in the subject line, make sure you put Latino Club and whatever you want to email us about. So if you have a question, for example, about the narrator project, just put Latino Club narrator project question or things like that. So we know that it's related to Latino Club and we can get back to you sooner. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Our next slide is the social media slide. So if you want to go on to that, Mr. Sayers, you guys probably already have our social media by now. But yeah, Remind is the most important one. We send everything out on there. Instagram, we just updated the Instagram and it has a lot more information about the announcements that we just talked about. And then the website also has really good information too, just for the upcoming events and just general announcements. So yeah, I think we've reached the end of our meeting. Oh, and then if you want to go to the next slide, the meeting is technically over, but Mr. Erickson has kindly found a Kahoot game for us to play. So if you're interested in playing, we would absolutely enjoy having you to play. But if you have to go, I guess we understand and we thank you for joining us. Just kidding. If you have to go, we completely understand and thank you for joining us. We hope to see you all next week. And don't forget to